Good to see you. Jale, just an update on Steve Smith. How's he going, mate? Is he going to be okay to play?
Fingers crossed. We know what a great player he is. He got a blow to the head in training the day before the first game. So we've been going through all the concussion protocols. He's definitely tracking in the right direction. So we're hopeful he'll be right for tomorrow. But if he doesn't come up again, then like always, we'll keep him, like any of our players, health in mind. So, but fingers crossed for everyone, he'll be up and ready to go.
How is he? Was it from a throwdown? Is that what happened?
Yeah, he was just practicing. We talk about Steve. He was probably on about his 30,000th ball, and he probably had about 2 or 3 to go, and he just the wickets over here. I mean, the facilities over here have been brilliant, but they're a bit worn because of so much traffic through them over the last few months with India and Pakistan. So just one ball just didn't quite get up. He ducked into it and it just hit him in the side of the helmet. So it was unfortunate. These things happen, and it's just from getting some wangers.
Hope he's okay. Thanks, mate.
Andrew Menzel.
Yeah, g'day. JL, are you looking at Marnus being the sort of number 4 sort of for the long term in the 50 over game and leaving Smith at 3? Is that the sort of structure you're looking at?
Yeah, not sure yet. In the sense that we've got so many options now. We talked about playing one-day cricket with changing our structure a little bit. We're so clear in Test cricket and T20 cricket. But what I know about Marnus is every single time he walks to the wicket, whether it's in Test cricket or one-day cricket, I mean, his innings the other night was, whilst he would have loved and we would have loved for him to have gone through and scored another. We know if an individual batsman scores over 80 runs plus, you usually win most games. So we would have liked him to have gone a bit further, but whether he bats 3, 4, 5, he's playing so well that we've got that flexibility at the moment.
Cheers.
John Pierrick.
Hi, Justin. Just want to get on Steve. Do you expect him to have a hit today?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He did all his running yesterday. He did some high-speed running, worked hard as part of the protocols. He has ticked every box at the moment, so he'll 100% have a bat this afternoon, or unless he's not feeling well this morning, which I'm not expecting, but he'll definitely have a hit this afternoon.
Thanks. Just one on David Warner. A bit's been made of Archer at the moment, how he's got him out 7 times recently. Is there anything you've noticed in David's technique that perhaps he needs to tighten up on, or is Joffa just such an outstanding bowler that these things happen?
Well, yeah, I mean, Jofra Archer's an incredibly talented bowler, no doubt about that. Equally, David Warner is, I mean, he's what a player. So, I was looking over numbers last night, a whole lot of numbers, and Davey's record over the last, his whole career, but the last little bit, I know when he gets in, he scores hundreds in one-day cricket. I mean, not many players have the ability to do that like he does. So, it's been a great contest, hasn't it? I mean, it's always in Australia versus England, but some of these one-on-one matchups, and often the opening bowler, the fast bowler against the opening batter, that's why we get up to watch the game, isn't it? So, I'm sure Davey, he's a superstar. He's a incredibly important part of our side. So I'm sure he's working overtime to be up certainly for tomorrow night's game.
Thanks, Justin.
Dan Briddick.
G'day, Justin. Question about the middle order, and I suppose both in T20 cricket and 50 over cricket. I mean, you've got a lot of options on the tour with you, but what attributes are you looking for from guys to see consistently in those roles? And I guess there've been a couple of games on this tour where it's been pretty critical to get that right and maybe not done so.
Yeah, it's been disappointing. We've played such great cricket throughout this whole. I mean, on the back of, you always look below the surface. I mean, how we've all played our cricket. All the guys have played their cricket, from the moment we arrived with no cricket under our belts. It's been a real credit to the boys. We've played so much you know, consistently across the board we've been, you know, really, really impressive. There's a few areas we need to get better at though. And that's the part of becoming a great team. One's bowling in those last few overs, which is always the case, but also in our middle order. And we're not shying away from that. The boys were incredibly disappointed the other night, and they were disappointed during the T20 side, but they're working hard on it. What do you look for guys on? Problem solving, really. It's like all batters, the best, you know, think about the Dhonis and the Hussies and the Bevans, Joss Butlers, the guys who finish it well are great problem solvers, and they've got real confidence in their ability to over and over solve the issues which come up, whether you're chasing big scores, small scores, on different wickets, on spinning wickets, on wickets which are staying a bit up and down. So that's what we're looking for from our guys in the middle order, guys who are able to solve problems and get the job done for us.
And just one, was some comments from Jofra overnight about, I suppose, the toll of being in a bubble for a long period of time and how he might reassess potentially, you know, going to the Big Bash, that kind of thing. What have been your observations of that environment, and I suppose what that's like for players long term, and how different it is to what I suppose you thought a bubble was in terms of touring life pre-COVID?
Yeah, it's certainly different. You come here playing one-day internationals in front of no crowds. That's different, and the quality of cricket has been unbelievable. It's been great to watch. And then I guess the biggest challenge for all of us is that it's a bit like scoring 100. You can't score 100 unless you give the next ball 100% attention. And my point of that is, if we start looking too far ahead of ourselves, it becomes it becomes a real challenge. It's almost it's a bit of a cliche, but one day at a time. Because if you look too far, when we're here, I mean, the ECB have looked after us incredibly well. They've been brilliant. Actual day-to-day life, it's pretty good with some restrictions, but it's just when you start looking ahead to when we get home and then quarantine and then how the summer looks. And if you keep looking too far ahead, then it gets challenging. So that's the big challenge for all of us.
Thank you.
Will McPherson.
Justin, while your team have enjoyed some success against England over the last year, you've also, in each format, had a kind of meltdown game. First at Headingley, obviously, then in the first T20, and then on Sunday. Can you explain that? Are they linked? Is it psychological? What do you think's going on there? Why has it happened against England?
Well, if you look at, you could argue the other way. When we played England at Lord's, we had a great win against them as well. I think when you look at the Edgbaston, if you talk about the World Cup semi-final, I would argue the day before, or a few days before that, our premier batsman, Usman Khawaja, had torn his hamstring and was out of the tournament. And his replacement, Sean Marsh, had broken his arm and was out of the tournament. So that certainly changed the structure of our team going into that game. Everything that we'd based our World Cup on had been, had been disrupted because of those serious injuries. And then the other night was a lot different. I mean, we were chasing runs under lights on a worn wicket. It was challenging, and we weren't able to come up for the challenge the other night. But my gosh, we've got a very good team. We've got very good players, and I think we're showing, certainly in most of the cricket we're playing, that we're up for the fight. So do I think they're linked? No, I don't think they're linked at all.
Is it just a sign that basically England are never beaten?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and that was my message to the guys leading up to the second game the other night. It's a very good point. I mean, England are a brilliant white ball cricket team, and we respect them enormously, what they've done over the last few years. And we know we're up for the fight. Even when you saw Sam Billings come in the other night, and with lack of opportunities, come in and score 100 in the middle overs. I mean, wow. I mean, it's a real credit to what England are doing, and that's been the consistent message. I mean, we've come here with no cricket under our belt. We've put up a good fight so far. We're in a position to win the series tomorrow night. But for not 1 millisecond are we taking England lightly. We can't. I mean, they're a very, very, very good team. They keep coming at us with bat and ball. They're good in the field. So it's a really good point that we do respect them enormously, and we'll certainly have to do that again tomorrow night if we're going to win the game and the series.
Peter Lalo. Lawler.
Thanks, Cole. Thanks, JL. I'm covered off now. Sorry, I was just trying to send you a text. Thanks for answering my question in advance, JL.
Thanks, Pete.
Rob Forsyth.
Hey, Justin. I know a while ago you spoke about win-win partnership and the importance of partnerships and the ideal of a win-win scenario between the broadcasters and CA. Obviously today they sort of haven't paid in full the instalments. I was just wondering, are you concerned at all that this is still going on, and are you worried that it could be a distraction, I suppose, come the home summer when the team comes back home?
Well, to be honest, I just woke up here in England. Didn't have much sleep last night, and I just heard about it just before this interview. So, look, it's the same deal. What I do know, and I've said it consistently, is when the summer comes, we're going to put on, I mean, like we've seen here against England, it's going to be some great, exciting cricket. I mean, there's England and India are two sides now who are probably our benchmark teams. We saw a couple of years ago, while it was disappointing, it was incredible entertainment. So I'm sure that'll be the same case this summer. As I just mentioned in the last question, England always come at us. It's tiring. It's like an arm wrestle every time we play England. It's the same with India now in both white and red ball cricket. So it's going to be great cricket. And I'm sure the same with the Big Bash. I mean, the Big Bash has been one of the... I was only talking to one of the Trent Woodhill last night. I said, Big Bash cricket, for that period of my life when I was coaching the Scorchers, was just an unbelievable time. I mean, it was entertaining. The kids loved it. The players loved it. Everyone loved the Big Bash. So, and I'm sure that'll continue. So all we concentrate on is putting on a great show. We've got great players. We've got lots of talent in Australia. We'll keep putting on a good show, and it'll be great for lots and lots and lots of Australians to watch it. The reason I love cricket is I used to watch it on telly when I was a kid, and that's where all my dreams, I guess, started. So long may it continue, because you know, people being able to watch cricket on the TV is, mate, it's part of being Australian, isn't it?
Well said. And in terms of the schedule, have you now got a pretty good idea of what that looks like? Is that Australia A game likely to go ahead? And I suppose the Afghanistan test, is that sort of looking less likely, or do you think it still might be there?
Yeah, look, what I do know is it's, and again, we see it in AFL footy, don't we? There's lots of, it's been a fascinating period. Again, with my involvement with AFL footy through the West Coast Eagles, and now obviously with cricket day to day, it's just a fascinating, and it's a complex, and it's, taking we talk about problem solving in the middle order. We've got some problem solving to do with all the different stakeholders which are involved, whether it's the government restrictions, biosecurity, costings. It's complex, but it's changes. I think we're getting a lot closer, yes, to knowing. But and like everyone, when we can lock that down, it'll be a great time.
Cheers, Justin.
James Cole.
Justin, just in relation to those two batting collapses on this tour, you're confident then that there's not a mental fragility there?
Oh yeah, I don't think there's a mental fragility. These things happen. I've said for probably 25 years. I did as a player. I love the history of the game. The hardest thing in cricket is hitting the winning runs, and it's just a really tough. It's a tough thing, because your mind, a bit like we talked about living in the hub before, your mind starts wandering to to getting the job done. And the job is to hit the winning run, but it's a tough thing because it's you've got to keep focusing on the next ball, got to keep focusing on the contest. So I'm very, very confident in our players that they are strong and developing and getting better at it.
Louis Cameron.
Hi, Justin. Just kind of on that, looking ahead to the summer, I'm interested in what you think of, or if you have any concerns over the red ball kind of preparation for some of the guys who will be away during the IPL.
Yeah, really good question, Louis. I think that it's something that we're very aware of, particularly as you think about the lead up to this tour, straight to the IPL, potentially straight into some white ball cricket, and then the test match. With it all pretty tight. It's something we're aware of. Am I worried about it? Not really. We've had a good dress rehearsal last year between the World Cup and the Ashes. I've said again, a bit like the chasing runs, I've said for years, is the best players adapt. And we've got great players. We've got some great players who might need to adapt, but comes to the colour of the ball, I'm really confident they'll be able to do that. That's what the best players do. They play all forms of the game. White, red, pink ball. They adapt quickly, and we've got the players who can do that.
Yeah, and on training and I guess putting a bigger squad while you've been. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, just on having a bigger squad over there, and obviously quite a lot of players are missing out from game to game. Is there anyone who's kind of impressed you away from the TV cameras and the games that you could tell us about?
Oh, it's been brilliant actually. It's been a great opportunity. It's going to be. Someone asked me before the challenge of living in hubs. And one of those challenges that we're all aware of is that the guys who aren't playing, and we've got to be, and talking to the guys from the ECB, it's something that we have to be aware of in the summer because the guys all want to be playing as much as possible, obviously. Daniel Sams, what an athlete. I mean, great athlete, can hold the bat, terrific young bloke. That's the price of entry now with the Australian cricket team. Be a good person, be a great athlete, have some talent. He's certainly got the price of entry there. Josh Phillippe, really impressive again. Riley Meredith, he's got some pace. He's always got a smile on his face, which we like. He's got some pace. Terrific bloke. Very talented. So there's three, and AJ Ty's come back in absolute career best shape. I've known AJ a long time. I've never seen him this fit and ready to go. He looks like he's gained a couple of yards with his bowling as well. Sean Abbott, elite athlete, high talent as well. So who else have I missed? Matthew Wade, consummate team man. Everyone here, Louis, has been excellent, and it's been really encouraging to see how much talent we've got, and it's going to be encouraging not just for the short term, for the long term as well. So it's been a really good exercise so far.
Thanks, Justin.
We'll go to Andrew McCormack, and then we'll finish off with Dean Wilson. Andrew.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, JL. Just a quick one. Just following on from that, the guys who haven't played a game yet, but Josh Phillippe, Riley Meredith, those guys a chance of maybe getting a game just to give them the experience in this last game of the series?
When we were cruising in the last game, my mind was ticking on all sorts of different opportunities we might be able to give the guys for the last game. I would suggest with England, the rivalry between England and Australia, and how tight the T20 series and this one-day series, they probably won't get the same opportunities they might have if the results had gone differently. So it's a shame, but we've seen, and I did say I've been consistent by saying that at the start of the tour, we'll be picking our best team as much as we can. That's the Australian way of doing things. So it's unfortunate, but they've certainly had the opportunity. We've seen them, we've had eyes on them. We've seen what they're like around the group. We've seen their talent. We saw them in some practice games. That augurs well for the future.
Cheers.
Dean Wilson.
Yeah, hi JL. Just a final thought. Obviously, Aaron Finch was asked about taking the knee, and he described it as, or he said that you weren't doing it. He thought that education and other things were kind of more important than making that stand. Obviously, you would have seen some of the comments maybe from Michael Holding in response to that, described that response as lame. Just want your thoughts really on the issue and why you felt that the first opportunity to play after the Black Lives Matter movement took hold, you didn't want to take the knee.
Well, first thing I say in it is that Michael Holding is one of the great people of world sport, and certainly our game. He's a person who I personally have great admiration, great respect, great love for, and we all watched his presentation or his heartfelt thoughts at the start of the summer. So, and when someone like Michael says something like that, it's certainly important we all listen to it. In terms of the taking a knee, to be completely honest, we could have talked more about it perhaps leading up to that first game. There was so much going on leading up to us getting here. Maybe we should have thought and talked a bit more about it. What we do talk about it within the team is that we want to have a response that is sustained and powerful, and it can go not just in one action, but sustained periods throughout, not just throughout this series, throughout our summer, but throughout time. So we're looking at ways. I know there's a lot of talk going on within our group about how we can, I know there's a lot of talk going on within the Australian women's team as well, on how that we can have a sustained and powerful response to the Black Lives Matters. It's incredibly important, and I just hope, and certainly from Mikey's point of view, I hope if it looked like there was a lack of respect there, that certainly wasn't the intention of our team, and we're very aware of it. And as I said, when Mikey says what he says, then it's certainly worth listening to, and we'll be doing that.
I suspect that pause for thought and perhaps deeper reflection you're talking about, it will certainly be welcome, and yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a powerful statement by Mikey, and it's, as it has been consistently from him and from others throughout the summer, and because of that, it was a powerful message.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. We'll catch up with you guys in the next couple of days. Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
fellas.
Justin. Thanks, Cole.
Cheers, Cole. Thanks, Justin.